Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we focused on how to set up your first migration. In the process, we created our first users table. So now, as a demonstration, let's add a new user to this table. I will prepare a quick route, let's just say when we request the home page. We will delete this in just a minute, so it's okay to add there. Now, as you've learned, we have two ways to do this. One, we could say user create, or we could say user equals new user. Either of those works. Let's use the first one, user create, and now we just have to provide the necessary fields. I will use my own name, my email, jeffrey@laracast.com, a password, and we want to make sure we hash this. Remember, never store your passwords in clear text. So we will just say, change me, and that should be enough. Don't forget, when you are using Eloquent, it will take care of populating the timestamps for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Finally, we will just return done. However, this isn't going to work exactly like you think. If we boot up our server and access this page, notice we get a mass assignment exception. Now, what exactly is that? Well, in fact, this is actually something I've covered in detail at Laracast. Just go to /lessons/mass assignment explained. However, for the quick 30-second explanation, it's just a mechanism that Laravel uses to protect you against any possible attacks. The basic idea is if you're not careful and you pass, for example, an array to user create, well, it's possible that somebody could manipulate the data that you pass there and, in effect, potentially upgrade, for example, their subscription status or their admin status. So Laravel protects you against this out of the box. Now though, what if we still want to use create? Well, we simply go to our models directory, open up user, and anywhere you want. Let's put it right here. Now we have two choices. We have guarded and we also have fillable. Fillable is the one that I like to use. An easy way to think of this is which fields may be passed to the create method? Which ones am I okay with? So as an example, like I said earlier, maybe if you have some subscription site, well, maybe you never want subscription ID to be mass assignable, so you would leave that off. In our case, for a user, we will allow username, email, and password. Now, if I switch back and try it again, it should work. All right, let's verify it. Back in SQL Pro, if we view the content and refresh, there we go. We have our first user. And notice, because we used #make, our password is encrypted. Very good. So now, if I go back to the routes file, let's get rid of all of this. It was just an example. Now let's learn about authentication. Well, let's imagine this. Let's set up a controller here. So we'll say route resource, and why don't we call this sessions? This is fairly common. And I will use a sessions controller to set this up. Next, let's go ahead and create that. Sessions controller.php. And now let's populate this. Class sessions controller extends base controller. Now, because we set up a resource, we have a number of routes available to us out of the box. We can view those by running php artisan routes. And there we go, 7 or 8 of them. So now if we want somebody to log in, we would send them to sessions/create, or we could also set up an alias for that. In fact, why don't we do that right now? At the very top, route get login will send us to sessions controller at create. Let's do one more for logout. Sessions controller at destroy. So now if we run php artisan routes again, now we've added 2 more routes, mostly just to follow conventions. So at this point, if we go back to sessions controller, let's set up that create method. So if this displays a form for logging in, I will return a view, and we will call this sessions.create. Let's set that up now. Right here, view, create a directory called sessions, and within here, create.blade.php. Now, if I open this up, we should probably extend a layout, right? We've covered that already. However, in this case, let's keep it incredibly simple. I'll just add everything right here, since we don't really have an app for this particular situation. Now, I will set up my form open, and form close. And what do you need to log in? Well, naturally you need a label. So we'll say label, and let's use the email. And next we need the actual input, form, a text type of email, and add that right here. And now let's keep it like it is and view that in the browser. If we browse to /session/create or our alias, Now we see our email input. And if I view the source, do keep in mind that we set up an input with the name of email, and that simply gives you just a touch of browser-based validation. It also helps on mobile devices when it comes to which symbols on the keyboard are provided to you. Anyhow, maybe we could wrap each of these within a div. We'll be a little quick here, but just as an example, let's do one more for the password. So this time, password, add that right here. And now we will use form password because we obviously don't want to see the text, we just want to see symbols. Finally, just one more for the submit button. Form submit, and I will call this login. And that's it. So if we come back and refresh, it's not the most pretty thing in the world, but we do have a login form. However, at this point, if we view the source again, notice that it will post to /login. And that's not really what I want. Instead, I want it to post to, and I will use a named route here. We will send this to sessions.store. Now, as a quick reminder, once again, let me show you the routes. Notice that we have a named route of sessions.store, and that will send us to sessions controller and then a method called store. So now, if we go back to our sessions controller, I can add this new method, store. So this will be responsible for authenticating the user. Within our controller, we could do this by saying if auth attempt, and now we need to provide it an array of the credentials. So that would be the email and the password. Now you have a couple options here. You could do something like email equals input get email. That would be an option. Another way would be to do something like input all. However, just to be safe, why don't we say input only, just to make sure we are only passing an array that contains the email address as well as the password. So now we are instructing Laravel, try to log in the user, attempt to log them in. Now, if everything validates correctly, Laravel will set a session and we can access the authenticated user by typing auth user. So let's return that if everything was successful. Otherwise, we will simply return failed. And I will add this missing parentheses. So we will begin with gibberish. That should fail the authentication, and if we try it, sure enough, we do get failed. But now, let's use valid credentials. I will use my username as well as the password, which we called change me. And sure enough, everything passed. That contains all relevant information for the currently signed in user. So that means we could say return welcome, and then append auth user username. All right, one more time, refresh, and there you go. Now though, if we are authenticated, if I go to /login, notice that it still displays the login form. Maybe we want to say, if you're authenticated, we never even allow you to view this page. You could do that by saying right here, if auth, and in this case, we will use a new method, check. That means check to see if they are authenticated. The opposite would be auth guest, and that means if you're not signed in, then do this. In our case, though, we want auth check, and if that's the case, let's return redirect to, and then how about /admin. If I quickly go back to my routes file, we can set that up. Route get admin, and let's just return admin page. Now let's try it again. I reload. We are authenticated, so it just immediately redirects you to wherever it is that you need to be. Now though, what about logging out? If we go back, why don't we just take the simple way out and say method destroy, and then we can say auth logout. Log out the authenticated user, and now return redirect to the route sessions.create. Redirect them back to the login page. Now, if we come back and we go log out, it should work. But there's still one problem. If we try to access that admin page, this fictional admin area that only authenticated users can access, even though we are logged out, we can still see this. Well, let's add a filter to our routes page. I will say, before this route, I want to make sure that the user is authenticated. Now, where exactly is this being loaded? Well, if we open up the sidebar and access app/filters, and I scroll down just a ways, here you go. This is what we are referencing. So when we say before auth, we're saying, all right, if the user is not logged in, then let's redirect them to that login page. They don't have access to see this. All right, so that's all we need to do there. If we come back and I reload, we no longer can access that page, no matter how many times we try. But now let's log in, and it should work. and we get welcome Jeffrey Way. And naturally, maybe you want to instead redirect the user to the admin page, and that's fine. But now, hopefully you are excited by how amazingly simple it is to authenticate a user in Laravel. The only remaining thing we should do is if authentication fails, why don't we return redirect back? Maybe you want to add some kind of message. For now, we'll just return with the input, which will repopulate those inputs. So now let's log out, insert an invalid email address, click login, and notice it redirects back, but it also repopulates that email field. And naturally ignores the password, but that's expected behavior. All right, so that'll do it for this lesson.